Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022-2023, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns, and also commemorating India's G20 presidency in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुध्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today is World Sleep Day. It is celebrated every year on varying dates in March. And this year it falls on March 17th. Observation found that the dates range from March 10 to 20. Although the date varies each year, the day it is celebrated always remains the same. It is the Friday before the spring vernal equinox. This commemoration or holiday is organized by the World Sleep Day Committee of the World Sleep Day Society. The day was created to emphasize the importance of sleep and address common sleep-related issues that many people suffer from. So sleep is a natural state of relaxation. It helps the mind and body regenerate and replenish themselves by suppressing muscle movement and other unused body senses. There are several phases of sleep, each with a distinct code. The disruption of any one of these phases can lead to body and or mental ailments that affect every part of life. The fact that sleep plays such an influential role on the mind and body brings us to the conclusion that the sleep is vital. Thus, organizations such as World Sleep Day, society made it their duty to create this holiday to promote the importance of sleep. Although everyone experiences sleep, each person has different perception of what happens when we sleep. According to some experts, sleep is a state of temporary coma that allows the body to be both conscious and unconscious. Many people suffer from sleep related issues that do not allow them to reach this regenerative coma like state, hindering their abilities. The World Sleep Society, which was formed in 2008, introduced World Sleep Day in collaboration with the World Association of Sleep Medicine, WASM. Since its inception, the goal and purpose of the day have been to spread awareness of the need to get sufficient sleep to stay healthy and bring international and local bodies together to work on sleep related issues. Every year, the day has been celebrated with unique theme to support the cause. The day also educates people about different sleep disorders, solutions, and encourages them to seek help. The first sleep lab to research sleep is opened by Dr. Nathaniel Kleitman, popularly known as the founder of sleep research in 1925. The first commercial sleeping pill, Librium, the first sleeping pill, is commercialized in 1960. In 2008, the first ever World Sleeping Day was celebrated and it was inaugurated on March 14th, 2008. So 2021 year's theme, regular sleep, healthy future, explains the vital role sleep plays in our lives and expands on the long-term benefits sleep can have on our. This year, World Sleep Day, March 17, 2023, the theme is sleep is essential for the health. World Sleep Day Society is issuing a global call to action to organize sleep health awareness activities on and around the Friday, March 17th. So members of sleep society, sleep experts, and community health advocates in over 70 countries will be organizing local, regional, and national activities to promote sleep health. Like us, so the theme for the World Sleep Day 2023 theme, sleep is essential for health. The theme for this World Sleep Day is sleep is essential for health, just like eating well and exercising. Sleep is a behavior that is foundational to one's physical, mental, and social well-being. However, sleep is not yet commonly considered an essential behavior for good health. World Sleep Day is an opportunity to promote sleep health alongside thousands of other sleep health professionals and advocates. When we all promote sleep and health and World Sleep Day together, our combined effort is greater than sum of its parts. Spread the word about the sleep health on World Sleep Day and help elevate the conversation around sleep. And as already mentioned, World Sleep Day is an annual event intended to be a celebration of sleep and call to action on important issues related to sleep, including medicine, education, social aspects, and driving. It is organized by the World Sleep Day Committee of the World Sleep Society and aims to lessen the burden of sleep problems on society through better prevention and management of sleep disorders. World Sleep Day is held the Friday before spring vernal equinox of each year. So the coming year would be on Friday, March 15, 2024. So this year, as we know, it is today, Friday, March 17, 2023. So the annual awareness event, World Sleep Day, was started by a group of dedicated healthcare providers and the members of the medical community working and studying in the area of sleep medicine and research. The goal of the first World Sleep Day was to bring together sleep healthcare providers to discuss and distribute sleep information around the world. The first co-chairs of World Sleep Day were Liborio Parino, MD, Associate Professor of Neurology at Parma University, Italy, and Antonio Culbras, MD, Professor of Neurology, Upstate Medical University, and consulted the Sleep Center Community General Hospital, Syracuse, New York, USA. So time and time again, sleep medicine professionals and researchers came up against the belief that sleep was not important enough in personal health and well-being to be a priority. That coupled with society's 24 by 7 flow, the founders of this awareness event aims to create the importance of healthy sleep. So World Sleep Day is hosted by World Sleep Society, WSS in short, a non-profit based in the United States with a global membership representing over 80 countries. Per the organization bylaws, World Sleep Society does not support, recommend, or endorse any products or services. The awareness event does accept corporate sponsorships to help support the cost to host the event, but World Sleep Society, the World Sleep Day Committee, or any other person affiliated with World Sleep Society does not endorse or recommend commercial products, treatments, or companies. So, event and activities of the World Sleep Day are free and open to public. Companies who sponsor World Sleep Day provide funds to the World Sleep Society to reimburse the costs of the awareness day, including cost of press releases, website hosting, and creation of educational content. Each year, only a fraction of World Sleep Day's cost is recouped through corporate sponsorships. So, with this, we shall conclude the World Sleep Day commemoration. Today is also National Preschool Teachers Appreciation Day. It's a time to break out the apples for all those amazing educators shaping young minds and is celebrated on third Friday of March each year. It is held naturally annually, share our love and shine some light on the often hard yet always rewarding task of teaching very young minds. Way back when, at a time when gender redefined or defined the kind of schooling people get, the only upper classes could actually afford, and education, many attempts were made to provide unrestricted access to education for all children. This was a global movement, and institutional arrangements for preschool education sprouted up all over the world. In French-speaking nations, Scandinavia, the United Kingdom, Poland, Russia, and Israel, there was Creche, which while others termed these institutions as infant school, daycare, or day nursery. The name most educators will link to early childhood education in Jonah Friedrich Oberlin, a French pastor who founded a Salle d'Isle or Hall of Refugee in 1767, which was the very first infant school of its kind. His institution cared for and educated children of daily workers and farmers and inspired imitations across Berlin and Paris and elsewhere. At the same time, the infant schools were becoming common across France. Welsh philanthropist Robert Owen opened an infant school, the first global one, in Scotland in 1860. This school, which was specifically formed to teach the children of oven workers, inspired the very first infant school in London the following year and afterward throughout England. Soon, early years educators began developing theories that inform how these infant care centers would teach and care for their charges. And schools for young children sprung up around the world. By the 20th century, science and loads of research in the same field led to the world to understand that young children become developing from the day they are born, and guidance during this time is crucial. But unfortunately, the family which has to provide the guidance, the parents, especially the father and mother, and the close uh, kins and kids of the child, like grandparents and extended family members, due to nuclear families and due to both the parents working, they are losing this wonderful opportunity, especially the children, to learn in their own natural environment. In the United States, where kindergartens has already been a well-established mode of learning for decades, the Head Start program began in 1965. President Lyndon B. Johnson's program would provide early preschool education, health, and nutrition to the children from lower income homes. This was first publicly funded preschool program in the US, and it was followed by many other educational opportunities. Today, preschool education is recognized as a crucial element of children's development, but people are not restricted to one place. They have a choice between formal, state mandated education and private institutions. So Frederick Frobel opens a play and activity institute in Germany 3 years before this, which he renames as Kindergarten or Garden for Children on June 28, 1840. And one of the most famous people to influence early childhood education, Maria Montessori, develops her educational theory about how young children should be taught. It inspires a global movement, and her philosophy of education taught in preschools all around the world to this day since 1912. And mid 2000s, preschool attendance rises. 70% of the 4-year-olds in the United States are attending preschool. The United States invests $9 billion in the flagship early education program started years earlier since 2017. Jeff Bezos' Day One Fund, American CEO and Amazon CEO and his wife announced they are giving $2 billion towards the causes of homelessness and preschool education as part of their philanthropic endeavors in 2018. So National Preschoolers Day precedes National Preschool Teachers Appreciation Day by a week. Each year it falls on the second Friday in the March and celebrates all preschool attending kids around the US. So on this day, you can write anything or your child is thankful to the teacher for including gratitude for preparing the child for the future and appreciation for their patience and passion in the classroom. So there are various ways to show appreciation for childcare educators, including writing thank you notes, personally expressing your gratitude, or even gifting them something as a thank you. So remember who taught you when you were young. Maybe your parents, grandparents, and extended family members. And if you happen to go to play school, maybe you can remember your play school or uh, LKG, UKG, or kindergarten. Or maybe if you can still remember them, if you have attended one, contact them and thank them for their help in making you the person you are today, along with all other teachers. So get together with other adults to encourage children to celebrate their preschool teachers by organizing little games and activities for the classroom. Kids could create little drawings celebrating their teachers, help teachers around the classroom, or even play at being the classroom teacher for a while. Given a little token of appreciation, this can be as simple as buying them lunch or as big as donating essential classroom supplies they need. You could also help kids pick gifts for their preschool teachers to show their appreciation. And health screenings, immunization and vaccination programs, meals, and more are part of many preschool programs, raising the health outcomes of all children who attend these schools. A study by the Brookings Institution showed kids who attended the Head Start program had better self esteem and control and even improved parenting practices. In 1970s, experiment the Avogadarian project proved intensively early intervention could help strengthen adult math and reading ability and even increase the likelihood of college education. Trained professionals are not only looking for the children's academic needs, but are also caring for and keeping kids safe as their parents go for work. When Washington, D.C. made preschool universal and free, labor force participation of parents, mostly women, increased to 76.4% from 65% over the span of decade. So from birth till age 6 is a period of great development for the young minds. Preschool education, which takes in children between the ages 3 to 5, helps these developing brains play and learn and actively engage with other kids. Parents and children are both positively affected by having a safe learning center to go to during the day. Preschools provide stability to little kids and their parents, an enormous boon that greatly impacts their lives. And preschool teachers spend their days nurturing and helping children, often with very little in the way of recognition. And National Preschool Teachers Appreciation Day is a good way to honor and celebrate these amazing people who work silently in the background with expectation, without expectation of any rewards. This is especially in the case of US, but unfortunately, today, along with appreciation to them, there is a lot of controversies and other incidences that are happening because US, this entire preschool network or the Head Start program is entirely funded by the US government. So every toddler or every infant has the opportunity to attend preschools for free and everyone is treated equal. But it's not the same case in rest of the world. We can see, take especially in India, where you can find almost in every street, you can find one or other play school. And not every play school provides a convenient environment for the children. And there are many times we have seen even in media and also in various reports and research reports that though we have some a very few play schools which are equipped with a good environment and the records and the various aspects of maintaining these highly beneficial environments, but most of the uh, schools, even schools, those who lack infrastructure, even today, we have many of the play schools which are crowded, which are unhealthy, unhygienic, not only in physical terms, but also in social, psychological, emotional, and also financial terms. So these have become, unfortunately, money minting, uh, businesses where there is a huge profit involved. And unfortunately, the young minds, even the research says these young minds, which are at their highest potential of learning, even they can build up, they can, accumulate the various experiences, and the very first 6 years of their entire life of learning will impact them for the next 60 years of their livelihood. So this what, lot of abuse happens and lot of neglect and, a lot of discrimination and, congested and unhealthy environments and abuse, and all these are commonly seen because of overcrowding and, especially these schools working towards profit maximization instead of children's welfare. Though some schools are doing very well, but majority, when we are talking about the majority of the schools, though we are not against this play schools, but unfortunately, majority of the schools which we have seen or which we were, talking about are abusing the children, and they are not at all treating those children as their children. And we see lot of studies also, uh, even when we visited many play schools or creches, they are not maintaining up to the standards. They are only, looking for profit maximization. They are least bothered about health and well-being of the children. So this is, unfortunately, like in every business, though, we are not very particular at this uh, play schools or, these creches or kindergartens. But even at those age, because where the children have the highest potential and they are growing rapidly at a faster rate, and where those experiences at that particular age is going to impact the next 60 years, where if that environment is not very conducive and very productive, then you can imagine what the child has to go through the next 60 years. So the word of caution is not to avoid schools, but to select schools, especially play schools, which are spacious, which has, we can see, where children are overloaded, like you just, like sheep or, you keep some animals like in a very small congested area. Even today, we have at least, we need to have some 2-3 square meters for each child. But nowadays, you can see at many places, A child in the play school doesn't have even 1 square meter allotted to them. So you can see in 100 square meters, you can see more than 200 to 300 children. And imagine, they are not goats or they are not sheep. They are human beings. They are potential citizens of a nation, and they are going to be a future scientists, future teachers, future entrepreneurs, and future wonderful beings. And imagine in their young age, if they are in such environments, what kind of impact that is going to create on them. So we are against these practices where, these young minds which need to blossom are unfortunately are being experienced lot of abuses, lot of neglect, and this kind of experiences which unfortunately no child should ever experiences. But what to do? The rat race of both the parents, working parents, are making them, wantedly or unwantedly, to keep their children in such places. See, when you are earning so much, and of course, we all have our own limitations, our own, if these financial requirements, but at the same time, it is also very important that there is nothing more important than your own child. And you see a lot of nowadays, we are talking about mental health so much, and you are putting your own children to the suffering of next 66 years. Imagine what is that you are going to do, and you are going to pay for the next 60 years of your child's health and well-being. And it is not just you, but also you, along with your child, your family, you and your spouse, your family is going to pay for it. So there is nothing wrong in sending, and people, especially children, to play schools and crutches and other things. But make sure, only a caution is, make sure that they are adequately spaced, they are adequately provided with all the facilities, including, qualified, especially we see a lot of play schools doesn't have a qualified teachers, doesn't have qualified and trained staff, and doesn't have, these medical and other trained professionals, and those who are at least minimum trained in their elementary education. So without proper training, without proper guidance, without proper monitoring and supervision, you can imagine today now even adults are suffering because of a lot of psychological and emotional, social incidents that are happening. And imagine what the blossoming child, if he sees and if he observes and if he undergoes, if he or she undergoes and grows in such an environment, imagine the plight of the child. So you yourself are destroying the child's, cognitive abilities and also various other aspects. And child, unfortunately, if he develops, various unwanted behaviors and perspectives, and this is also building up to more and more nuclear families, because they don't see the value, they don't have that kind of love, affection, they don't see that kind of relationship towards their parents, families, and also siblings and other, aspects, family aspects. So today they are not caring for the parents, they are not caring for their siblings. They don't even, because they are, it is as good as keeping them in a hostel. And, imagining 3-year-old being in a hostel or in a hostel environment where there is not productive, nurturing environment. You can imagine what can happen to that young child. And that is crucial years, until 60 years. Actually, we have to pass a law uh, in the benefit of children. No mother or no parent, for that matter, not even mother or father, irrespective of both, no child should be, you know, sent to any school until the age of 6 years, and parents should take all the responsibility of the child. So, in fact, we should also bring other provisions also, but unfortunately, India is a huge country, and there are many who are struggling for daily bread and butter, so for their livelihood. So here it may not be practically possible, though at a policy level, it is still there. That's why we see, most of the government schools, they do not have this, concept of admission um, till first class. Why? Because since long we have understood that child is better nurtured, nourished in the homes rather than coming to places. So until 6 years, child is left at the home environment so that she can explore the environment. And anyway, we have various programs like under ICDS, like Anganwadi, Balwadi, and various other programs where children are taken care and they are provided nutrition and supplements. Not only that, vaccination and routine checkups are provided for free to everyone. But unfortunately, most of the population utilizing are below poverty line or low income people. And as usual, the middle income people or higher income people, they are not uh, using these services. So, more and more services, when people start using services, there will be more focus on that. But unfortunately, the middle income and higher income population are approaching the private preschools, and this is becoming, unfortunately, a way to exploit. So these, and due to huge demand now, because both the parents are working and being nuclear families, no one to look after, the children are left at these commercial, play schools, which are focused on profit maximization, and they care least for the children. And we see, especially, very confined spaces where in a small, room, maybe we have seen, especially various case studies in India. We have seen in some metro cities where just there are huge number of children in just one room or two rooms or three rooms. There are hundreds of children who are being taken care. You cannot see, fresh air breathing, and how frustrated and how irritated you can be if you are confined to the closed spaces or very constricted spaces. And you can imagine what a child can go through it. So only thing, caution is here. We are not against anything or anyone, but make sure, because at the end of the day, it is our child, it is your child. So make sure, while you are earning so much or you are struggling so much for them only, right? So make sure that they are in very productive environment and very constructive environment, and where the environment is not only spacious but also safe environment, where trained people are taking, and ensure more than everything, ensure that people who are taking care of your child are compassionate and not too much commercial or money focused. Of course, that is there everywhere, we cannot deny. uh, but beyond that, there is also compassion. And there are many play schools also, where we have seen, where even they take, they charge accordingly and also provide services, quality services. So ensure that uh, you take all the precautions so that your child also doesn't turn up in future with a hashtag like me too or something who has uh, undergone abuse. Abuse can be of any kind. It can be of physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, or any kind of abuse. It may not be always a sexual abuse, but it can also be an physical abuse, or you know, it can be as uh, it can be an isolation. It can be, many schools we have seen even in media also. There are various reports where children are drugged to, to make them sleep or to make them inactive, so that it is easy for them to manage more children. So more admissions. So whole day they will be sleeping, and or for they will be drugged. We have seen many cases where children are drugged to sleep so that there is no much activity or much work for the caretakers and also for the managers. So only they, at the time of feeding, they ensure that even sometimes they also provide the feed. Sometimes they don't even feed because of prolonged, you know, under these effects of drugging. They include, they use sleeping tablets and various other things. We have seen also, and at many times we have seen in media also. So all these things are happening. We don't know what is happening with the child. So ensure whenever you are approaching, make sure you select the right people, right center, and always ensure you, before you joining your child, you ensure what is the area that is there and how many children are already admitted and what kind of facilities are there. So you need to ensure that minimum 3 square meters or at least 1 square meter should be available for the each child, so that a child can freely move his body parts, and otherwise, and make sure they are also adequately housed indoors and outdoors with adequate ventilations and spacious playground and with all the facilities. So even it may be, you may be thinking, even it may be 1 hour, 2 hour, or 3 hours a day, it shouldn't matter. But a incidence that that happens even for few seconds can be traumatic for the entire life. So make sure that on this day we are not only appreciating the efforts of the good play schools, but it is also our responsibility to ensure and bring awareness of the highly abusive and highly commercial or exploitative play schools and managements. So with this, we shall end the commemoration of this day, hoping that more good people enter this schooling with a service motive rather than profit motive in a sustainable mode. So today is also National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence in US. And Australia gears up to observe National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence on the third Friday in March every year. And this year it is on March 17th. Educational institutions work with school-based communities and students to find easy and workable solutions to address and prevent bullying. Begun by a major Australian bullying prevention initiative, Bullying No Way, National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence, hopes to build lasting solutions to bullying in schools and around Australia. Bullying acts of repeated aggression meant to hurt and disturb, it's not a new concept at all. History clearly shows us bullying has existed for centuries. Old documents from the 18th and 19th century reveal physical harassment was common among the youth and would often lead to death, strong isolation, or extortion. So bullying was so common that people barely bothered to study this behavior seriously. Initially, the media in some countries like the UK, Japan, and Korea would publicize incidents of bullying. But even so, large scale of research into bullying was rare, at least until the 1970s. Bullying might just be something our ancestors passed down to US, according to scientists. The theory is that behaviors that appears across cultures and races are usually a part of revolutionary history. The earlier forms of bullying before language was invented might have predominantly featured physical acts of aggression. Back then, bullying and aggressive behaviors were individually advantageous, granting people prime status among their peers and groups. They could take mates, assert their dominance, and even protect their young if they exhibited such behavior. Survival of the fittest, quite literally. Then languages developed, and so did the forms of bullying. Words were wielded as weapons, first in person and then over a screen as technology took over our interactions online. Today, online forms of bullying are just common, if not than bullying in person. Many countries, organizations, and educational institutions globally are taking note of this problem and are addressing bullying through various initiatives. National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence is one more event that supports this cause. So Japan studies Lijmi becoming one of the world's first Asian countries to ever study the effects of bullying in Asia in mid-1980s. In the first known use of term workplace bullying, the British BBC broadcaster and journalist Andrea Adams writes bullying at work, how to confront and overcome it in 1992. So a multinational study covering 28 countries showing bullying is very common. There are no countries where bullying is not present in some form or other. Bullying has no geographical boundaries. An Australian college fails to protect the student from being bullied, gets sued by the said student and loses the case, making the first time a school board has been found guilty in a bullying case, setting as a precedent on April 13, 2011. So National Day of Action Against Bullying and Violence is held with a bang, and 66% of Australian schools join in to act against bullying, the largest scale celebrations in 2021. National Anti-Bullying Day first was originated in Canada, where it is observed on the last Wednesday of February. It has now been adopted globally and is celebrated on different dates in different countries. So Stomp Out Bullying, a US-based anti-bullying and cyberbullying organization, established Blue Shirt Day or World Day of Bullying on the first Monday in October to kick off National Bullying Prevention Month. People can use any color to denote anti-bullying. So far, common anti-bullying causes have been used or have used blue and pink as primary colors. Talk to kids about bullying and teach them how to stand up to it. Go ahead and share your experience with bullying. Share examples of peoples who stood up to the bullies and how your kids can do the same. See what anti-bullying measures educational institutions around have and lend your support to their cause in any way you can. You could also open a conversation with local schools to figure out ways the entire community can help. Check out various anti-bullying websites, read literature on the subject, and strategize ways you can get your message across to students, teachers, and parents. Everyone has a role to play in preventing bullying, and this might be yours. So, increasing kids' playground interactions, showcasing school values, including a non bullying policy, and eliminating blind spots so that adults can supervise students at all times, helping reduce incidents of bullying as per various studies. Animals go through it too. Bullied rats lose their appetite, and bullied baboons get beaten up. And bullying meant something quite different. Once it meant sweetheart in the 1530s, eventually taking on the worse meaning of the harasser of the weak in the 17th century. There are different names to describe it. If it is done by a group, it is called mobbing. And when it is done in school or the workplace, it is called peer abuse. And bystanders are very important. Saying something against bullies can prevent this behavior, while staying silent will only encourage bullying. Bullying is not just an isolated incident, but a harmful pattern of behavior that affects children and adults all over the world. The more programs we have on bullying prevention, the more awareness we raise about the cause. They can then use this voice to speak up against bullying. Young students are also empowered to join in this global conservation or conversation and send a powerful message that bullying is not to be tolerated. While people unite for a common cause, in this case, bullying, they bring better an entire community of like-minded people. The sense of social connection and belonging such communities provide inspires more and more students to speak against bullying, which helps prevent this behavior. Today is also Excavation Day in Massachusetts, US. It celebrates the day when British troops evacuated Boston during the American Revolutionary War. Boston is the seat of Suffolk County, where various activities were held each year to commemorate the event. Evacuation Day is off for most people, the schools and most business closing for this day. The day the Dorchester Heights Monument, built from white marble, commemorates the events related to Evacuation Day. Today is also commemorated as Doctor Patient Safety Day in US. It is dedicated to the doctors who work to save lives by safeguarding the trust of their parents. Indeed, treating a patient means understanding the most personal aspects of their body and mind. People in healthcare are bound by the ethics of the medical profession to never disclose personal information about their patients. And doctors are responsible for saving countless lives all over the world. They are responsible for the healthcare, which is one of the most important traits in our world. Without proper developments in the medical field, the human population would have been reduced by more than half. The history of medical science dates back to the dawn of human civilization, and even before that, our ancestors knew about the healing potency of various species on the planet, including herbs and other elements in the earth. The art of healing flourished even at the ages where Stone Age and the later ages, various civilizations like Mesopotamian, Egyptian, Indian, and Chinese developed their own medical schools and physicians. Though the first ever known medicine is Ayurveda, which is the first ever known medicine to the entire planet. The development of modern medicine has resulted in an increase in the lifespan and living conditions of the people. It aided drastically lowering infant mortality, average lifespan, death during delivery, complicated health conditions caused by common illness, and so on. Medical advancements brought doctors closer to their patients' personal lives and intimate information. The medical code of conduct requires healthcare workers to keep the personal information of their patients secret. We are going through a time when healthcare is at its best, but the healthcare improved, so did the germs and complexity of diseases and health conditions and disorders. Doctors now need more and more personal information to get an accurate diagnosis of a patient's condition. But people are sensitive about their personal information, and there are instances when they withhold that information from their doctors. Trust between a doctor and this patient is most important factor for the success of treatment. So Doctor Patient Day was created to spread awareness about the ethics and code of conduct that every healthcare worker follows. Is a day to make people aware of the importance of passing correct information to the doctors. It is also a day for doctors to make sure they adhere to the latest standards for keeping the trust of the patients. And finally, today we have uh, the last commemoration of the day is today is also commemorated as Campfire Girls in US. It celebrates the work of Campfire, a development organization for the youth. This was initially known as Campfire Girls of America, and its name was changed to Campfire Boys and Girls in 1975. After the boys were allowed to join, in 2001, the name was changed once again to Campfire USA, and finally, in 2012, the organization was renamed as Campfire. So Campfire Girls Day is celebrated to mark the founding of the organization and all the wonderful work they do. The Boy Scouts had been around for a while, and young girls did not have similar organization, which allowed them to pursue their interest. William Chauncey Langdon, along with Mrs. Charles Farnsworth and Mr. and Mrs. Luther Gulick, created a national organization for girls. Langdon named the group of girls the Campfire Girls. In 1912, Campfire Girls became a formally organized group, and Campfire Girls became a formally organized group, and Campfire Girls of America was incorporated. The group was seen as being a sister organization of the Boy Scouts of America. By the end of 1913, Campfire had 60,000 members. Their first handbook was published in 1940. During the First World War, they sold Liberty Bondos, conserves food, and supported uh, French and Belgian orphans. The 50th anniversary of the group was celebrated with a project of planting 2 million trees and building 13,000 bird houses. By 1974, their membership was at 2,74,000. And in 1975, they started allowing boys to join. So this camp was then known as Campfire Boys and Girls. Campfire has programs that are mainly focused on leadership development, camping, and environmental education, childcare learning, and service learning. There are also programs that are specific to the community needs. Camping has long been a big part of the Campfire, and there are now 130 camps throughout the country. Members work in different age groups from youngest to oldest. They are known as Little Stars, Starflight, Adventure, Discovery, and Horizon. The Wo Hello Medellin Award is given to 200 members a year and is the organization's most prestigious award. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemoration. And thank you everyone for joining us. And kindly fill up the feedback form. This is in the form of polls. And a gentle reminder to everyone, from tomorrow onwards, we will not be having this international webinar series, as the same time is being utilized for organizing international conference. So all the regular participants of international webinar series can join the international conference being held at the same time. You need to register for the international conference, as the international webinar series will also be, part of conference. So you need to, there will be no separate certificates issued for the international webinar series. So you can join daily as you are joining for the international webinar series and attend, so that you will get the benefit of, attending the international conference. And you can also get the conference certificates on a daily basis. So if you attend all the 10 days, you will be getting the 10 days, the complete conference certificate. And later on, we will also, we got some requests. They also want, one certificate for them, for whom for those participants who are attending all the days, so they can show one certificate instead of 8. That we will see at the end of the conference. That is still under proposal. So if we have more people attending all the days, then we will also consider issuing a single certificate along with, daily certificates, because this was, proposed earlier, because many were not able to attend all the days. So they lost the opportunity even for the days which they have attended. So based on the request, we have thought that at least if they are attending on any one day, they will get participation certificate for that day. So that is the reason we have shifted it to a daily basis. But anyway, no issues. If you have those 10 certificates, and if you really need, only one certificate, generally institutions also accept in that manner also. But if you still, if you have any specific requirement, you can always reach us and we will be happy to help you. After the conference, certificates will be issued only after the conference, because we have to check all the details, verify all the details, and based on cumulative attendance and all this, it will take time, at least 1 week after the conference. All the certificates, after verifying all the details, will be issuing you the certificate. So registration link for the international conference for both presentations and as well as participation, collaboration have been already circulated to everyone. So it's available on the website and also in various groups, forums available, has been already shared. So if you want to present, you can register and share your details. So already regular registration was closed on 15th midnight. Now spot registrations are happening, and these will be open till last day of conference, and approval or allotment of session will be purely based on the availability of the slot. So, but to make a request, you need to register in the same way and you need to contact us, and based on the availability of the slot, if any slot is available, if any schedule is available, we will allot on the spot registration. So do attend. And utilize this wonderful opportunity to present your papers, research, and your work experience, and also to participate. So the international webinar series will resume after the conference, that is till 27th, from tomorrow till 27th, daily from 6 to 9, or till all the presentations are completed. We'll be having conference sessions. Then after that, from 28th, we will be having this regular international webinar series as usual. So this is a small notice information to everyone. So from tomorrow onwards, do join. We'll also share the registration link in the chat box daily. Those who are joining directly as we are sharing. So today also, those who have not registered, we are observing that not everyone is registering who is attending. Again, later on, don't ask for certificates and don't blame the organization for not issuing certificates. We have clearly mentioned on the website and all the communications, even if you are receiving an invitation message for an event, in that message, the registration link is also provided, wherein even in the registration forms also we are mentioning registration is mandatory. So do not blame yourselves or the organizers for not issuing a certificate. Formality, completion of formalities is mandatory for everyone and no one is exempted from that, including me. So don't think that, at times we have given, but don't take it for granted. If you get it even without completing, then assume that you are fortunate. If you don't get it, don't blame anyone, blame yourself only, thinking that you are unfortunate. So to avoid all these things, register yourself for daily events on a daily basis. For conference, it's only one-time registration. You can register and follow the instructions on the website. The schedule will be available tomorrow morning on a day-to-day basis, on a daily basis. So you can check the schedule and you can join, or otherwise also you can join at 6 o'clock every day on time, because attendance is automatically recorded by the Zoom platform and feedback forms are also shared only on Zoom platform. The conference sessions will be also streamed live on YouTube as usual. So you can also watch on YouTube on a later date. So for all others, quickly complete all your formalities in time so that we can also prepare, generate certificates and share your certificates in time. So thank you everyone for joining us and see you all tomorrow for the conference sessions. And for various other certificates are being processed, and we are already, having so much workload now because of conference and various other issues. We are updating. Don't worry. You keep checking the website or your email IDs also. Hope the participants who have registered has been added to a Google group on which you might have been receiving mails, messages in your inbox. If you have not received any message, you can, or email, you can join the Google group. There are two groups. One is, the regular group, and other is the official group. You better join the official group that is having the larger capacity, and we are posting it in that group as well. So you can get all the updates, and whenever certificates are released also, we are sharing that, and others certificates are in process. As you know, there is a 15 working days time only to provide the participants, presenters, and all others to complete their formalities. Even within, we have seen even within 15 days also, they are not completing the formalities. That is a problem of the unsaid delay, because we cannot generate one certificate and issue, and again when some other completes, we cannot issue certificate one by one. We will we'll generate only once in a while, and then on a quarterly basis or half-yearly basis, any pending certificates we can issue, because it consumes a lot of time in verification and in generating. See, the process is same, time taken is same, even for one certificate or 1 lakh certificates. Only the generation time differs, but entire process remains the same. So even for one certificate or 100 certificates, the process is same. So we have to invest our time, resources, efforts. If just one person asks also, it is the same procedure. So don't waste your time and our resources. Complete your resources daily, register yourself, and attend, participate, provide feedback, so that you will be getting certificates in time, and also help your fellow participants and presenters also get in time. So thank you everyone for joining us. See you all tomorrow. And we will also ensure that, we are also processing. Soon you will be getting, maybe by end of this month, after the conference, at least I can ensure that after the conference, the daily certificates and all, whichever were pending, all will be released by month end. So I can assure you that. Don't worry about that. So see you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night.